On this week's episode of Pop Culture Weekly, I talk with country star Cassadee Pope and Agua Donkeys stars MP Cunningham and Jared Jackson. Let's go!
You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am mostly all the time Kyle McMahon. It is episode 71, and I can't believe that it's episode 71, and they're still paying me. So, and you guys continue to listen. I love you all for listening. Thank you so much. You make it grow every week. You're giving reviews on Apple Podcasts. You're sharing it with friends, and that means so much to me because I get to continue to do it because of that. And of course, you know, we always have the videos up on Facebook and YouTube. You can go to Facebook/Real Kyle McMahon to see, you know, some of these video interviews that I do, or my YouTube at Kyle McMahon. In any event, today we have a really special solo episode, so no rotating panel of guest hosts today just yet, but it's coming very soon. But I talk with country star Cassadee Pope, and, you know, I talked to her probably last year, and she's just such a delight. So we're talking about her brand new single and her upcoming album and tour and all kinds of good stuff. Then, if you haven't seen Agua Donkeys when it was on Quibi, which you remember, I was a big fan of Quibi, and then it quibbly disappeared. All right, I'll see myself out. In any event, obviously Quibi went away, but the Roku Channel has taken on all of the content from Quibi. So Agua Donkeys, which was one of my favorite series on Quibi, is now available on the Roku Channel. Starting today, depending on when you listen to this, it's out. Whenever you're listening to this, it's already out on the Roku Channel. So I talk with MP Cunningham and Jared Jackson. They're both the creators, stars. It's such a funny show. It's basically these two like bros that work for a pool cleaning company called Agua Donkeys, and basically they're just living life, you know, trying to find a hot girl and get the perfect tan and get a perfect vibe. Such a funny show, and you guys are going to love it, and you'll love my conversation with them. So let's get into it right now, starting off with none other than the one and only Cassadee Pope. So, I am here once again with the wonderful Cassadee Pope. I'm really glad to talk to you on iHeartRadio's Pop Culture Weekly. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, last time we talked, you were getting ready to release a new album, which, you know, we talked a little bit about before it came out, and you did release the album Rise and Shine. And tell me a little bit about that.
It was such a product of the pandemic, for sure, because I had just a jolt of stillness that I wasn't used to. I had all these tour plans like everybody else. So it was just kind of me thinking about something I could do with my time that was productive, that helped me, that helped my fans, or even just people that came across that album. It's an acoustic album, which I did because I wanted to be safe and not get a bunch of musicians together. But then at the end of the day, I realized how it was very fitting for the time we were in. It was just very noisy and very crazy. And I thought maybe my album could be kind of nice escape from it all. But, you know, that album was really mostly for me. So I was really happy to see fans enjoyed it. And, you know, getting back to shows soon, I'm excited to start playing them live. I've never played them for a crowd. So, yeah, it was an album that helped me out a lot.
And this is for you, well, I guess really for a lot of people that released music, particularly albums, it was probably weird to not go and tour with it right away, right?
Oh, yeah, it was super weird. And even just the, you know, publicity aspect, like going to New York or LA or wherever to do promo and just doing it on my computer. And, you know, it was just a very bizarre experience. And I remember texting a few friends who had released albums during the pandemic and asking them, did you feel weird? Like, were you kind of sad, you know? And they were like, yeah. I mean, even just something as simple as having a release party with like family and friends, you know, just nothing like that happening. I had a release party online, which was nice. I'm glad I got to do that even, but all of it, the whole experience was just flipped on its head, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think you handled it very well. The response to it was awesome. And I think, all things considered, it was a great launch in a weird time.
Thank you. Yeah, I told my team, I was like, this is really not me trying to blow up or anything. I'm just releasing music that I just want to get out there, and it'll help me mentally to have music that I know people are leaning on in such a strange time. So it was really nice and kind of a surprise at the strong reaction to it.
Yeah. And, what else as an artist, what else could you ask for, Yeah.
I mean, it was, I putting something out there with no expectations is not really easy to do. You always have something attached to the project. Like, I want awards. I want a #1 at country radio. I want huge sales. I want a tour. And this one was literally just the most raw release I've ever done, because I didn't know what to expect, because it was an unprecedented time of releasing music. So it was kind of nice to just not to release control and just have it live.
I love that. And so after the release of that, you pretty much continued working on music, right?
I did. I pretty much wrote a whole album last year on Zoom. And the first song I wrote on Zoom was What the Stars See, which is my current single. And it was therapeutic, because I had the time, which I never had before, to sit and think about the direction of the new album or the new project and where I wanted it to go. And the things that just kept popping up for me were just, all the times where I really neglected my pop rock, pop punk roots and really tried to be more country than I was. And now I feel like I found this sweet spot of I'm both. I'm all of those things, and I should embrace that. And even if it makes me not fit into a certain lane, maybe it's my own lane, and that's okay. So I just took that approach when writing last year, and it really came out to be one of my favorite projects.
I absolutely love that. And speaking of the single, you have a couple of other powerhouse women on it with you. How did that come about?
It was so crazy. I got into the studio with my producer, Nick Wheeler, who plays in All American Rejects. He's the guitar player. And Karen Fairchild of Little Big Town, who's co-producing the project. And we were listening through all the demos. We came across What the Stars See. And Karen just said, I feel like this is a collaboration song. We could get some women on it, like I'll sing on it. And I was like, okay, let's get that in writing. That's happening. And then I thought of Lindsey Ell, because she's one of my best friends, but also it's a very guitar driven song. And I thought, who better to wail on the guitar on this song than Lindsey. So I just got really lucky with them both being down to do it. And I also got even more lucky that they were down to do the video, because one of my favorite parts of that music video is when they come on screen as holograms. And I just think they look so badass and cool. So I love that. It's not a super expected female empowerment lyric. It's just a very, it's exposing of like what we all feel during a breakup, wishing we could see what the ex is doing. And to have two women that I love and respect dearly kind of endorsing that message with me feels really empowering in itself.
Yeah, it's a great song, and the music video is awesome. And, when I saw it, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that, and I mean that in an amazing way. I mean, it was, it's very unexpected for the song, in my opinion. And yeah. I love it. It's so like fresh and cool, and just really, kind of ties emotion in with, technology in ways. I mean, it's just really cool. Yeah. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah. The director, Ed Pryor, he's so good. And he sent me the treatment because I didn't have like a fully fleshed out vision for the video. I was kind of having a hard time because I thought it could be a story video with actors and we really hit it on the nose of like what the song's about, or we could go more abstract direction and make it a little bit more artsy. And I got all these directors to send in treatments. My managers actually sent me the treatments with no directors' names on them because they didn't want me to choose anything based on my preference. And I really wanted to work with Ed Pryor. And thankfully he had the treatment I love the most because he at the very top of the treatment, it said Blade Runner inspired. And I was like, yes, okay, we're going to make this work. So yeah.
So is this, can we expect an album supporting, or is the single going to be supporting an album?
Definitely. Yeah. It's almost done actually. And there's just, I don't even know what to say about it because I'm so excited. It's just it's sort of, some of the songs go more to the pop rock, pop punk side, and some of the songs, none of the songs go full country, fully to that side, but there's some songs like lyrically that head that direction a little bit more. And overall, the whole project is just very, I always say this, but I feel like I divulge more each album I do. Just, I get more personal because I get more fearless and I get more like, why not, So there's a lot of things from my past that I'm talking about that I sort of was afraid to confront or felt shameful about. And just, there's a song about my sister and our bond, and a song about just the crap that people say and judge people's lifestyles, and just kind of calling out people like that song. And just, it covers a lot of ground that I've not covered in the past. So I'm really excited to really say something with this project.
That's awesome. And one of the things that I do love about you is that you have become an artist that's not afraid to be who they are, authentic. And it's so refreshing because, I think it's starting to become more accepted, but we're still like not even close to being there, because so many people are pigeonholed into, you have to be, this country starlet, you have to be this rock, girl, you have to be, you know what I mean? And in reality, so many of us are not easily fit into one box.
Right.
And our music should reflect that, I mean, I don't think that listeners care. I mean, I know I don't care if I'm listening to an album and it goes from a dance song to a folk song. Like, if it's freaking like authentic to that artist, then awesome. I want to hear both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. All of my favorite albums have like one or two songs that are like, whoa, out of left field, but it's like a palate cleanser, it's like, oh, and it's like cool to see what artists, have variety wise, they're very diverse. And I think, that's definitely a pressure put on by the industry. Everybody wants an artist that's easy to promote, easy to brand, easy to break. And it should be the other way around. We should be doing what we love. And I love pop punk. I love country. I love Converse. I love stilettos. I love, like, all of us, like you said, are complex and like different things. And the powers that be, the suits, should look at a project or an artist that's so uniquely, authentically them and say, okay, we're going to make this work surrounding you and what you want to do. So that's probably why I'm still independent, because I'm like, I don't want to play the game anymore, and I used to play it, and I gotta be honest, it didn't get me much further. So why not just be yourself and show them all the different versions of you, because we're just too complicated to be one way,
Absolutely. And by the way, I think that'd be a great album title or song title, Converse and Stilettos.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's just like such a cool, thing.
Yeah.
And
it's a cool balance.
Absolutely. And, I was signed with a major right out of high school, and the people working there were great, but I definitely felt pressure. They were trying to make me this like pop rock, like boy next door thing. And that's cool. But I also love dance music. So so as I'm like recording the album, I showed them this dance song that I did, and they were like, what the hell is this? And and I'm like, oh yeah, I love this song. Don't you think it's catchy and blah blah blah? And they're like, for somebody else, sure. And I'm like, but I wrote it. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's me. And it's definitely, like you said, an industry thing that to me it just doesn't reflect reality. It really doesn't.
No.
Sometimes I feel. I mean, look at some of the great artists, Madonna and Elvis, and like they didn't have this one sound their entire career. I mean, Madonna, who knows the next album, what the hell's that's going to sound like? But it's all, a variation of the artist, and people are okay with that. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
that they're exposed.
And it's also like that, you saying that also like makes me feel like you're appealing to more people when you show all the different sides of your voice and your talent and your creativity. You're bringing in, if you did the pop rock guy next door thing and then you had some dance elements in, you might be bringing in a whole other audience that like loves dance but doesn't necessarily dig pop rock, but you made a genre or a lane that you can bring all these other people together. And like, I think that's the beauty of artists having these multifaceted kind of sounds, is like you are bringing so many people together. And for you, that's really beneficial because you have a bigger audience. So I'm with you. I don't quite understand the pigeonholing, but it is what it is.
It is. And, in so many other industries, it's not that way. I've never heard of like, like a movie studio or something being like, and sometimes, of course, actors and actresses get pigeonholed into roles, but, I've never, heard like them say about a director, like, oh no, you can't do a comedy. Like, your last two movies were dramas. We're not going to do that. Or, with an actor, it's just so silly to me. And, you look at great actors or directors or whatever, and, a huge chunk of them have varied roles because they're artists. Yep. It's stupid. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. My boyfriend's an actor, actually. So I think that's a great example because he's done different roles, but he's definitely like hungry for that like dark kind of weird scary role or whatever, something that he's not done before. And he's not saying to himself, but I can't because my brand and people won't understand me. And he's not thinking that way because he's an artist too. So it's just we're peacocks, we gotta fly,
exactly. Yeah, I was talking to Alexander Skarsgård, who I absolutely love. And,
he's amazing.
He really is. And I was talking to him for Godzilla vs. Kong, which came out last month. And he's a celebrated actor, won all of these awards, and he went from like tiny, like a series of kind of tiny little drama, character-driven, pieces to this giant, like huge blockbuster movie. And, 10 years before that, he was Tarzan. And, so, I mean, like, nobody's like, oh, nope, sorry, Alex, I'm not going to see Godzilla because I liked your last three movies as drama. Like, it's just, it's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I'm hoping people are becoming more open-minded and just letting the artists explore and do what they love, because, when you're an artist and you have different tastes and different passions for different things, it can be really kind of depressing to make yourself be one thing. And I think if people only knew the human behind it, I think people would be less adamant of being like, no, you're supposed to be this thing, this one thing I thought you were. And that can do some damage, that can actually give some mental health issues to people. And I've been a victim of that for sure, being on a major label and hearing that, and then you lose yourself. So if people really thought about the human behind it, I think they'd be less likely to say that kind of stuff.
Amen. So sorry, I got really off on a tangent there.
Me too. It's okay.
So your tour, when can we expect all the goodies on that?
Oh my gosh, I'm dying to get back on tour. There's some talks and some plans being made. I'm hoping for the fall. It's sort of, everybody has gotten on a tour, which is amazing. And so I'm hoping to either get on one, but I think I'll probably do a headliner and just do my own thing and do some fun, like underplay small clubs just to get into like a small sweaty room again, because that's my favorite kind of show. So yeah, the fall's looking promising.
And at that point, will we have 2 albums to tour for?
Yeah, probably. God, that's so crazy to think about. I forgot I didn't tour on the last album, but yeah, I'll have plenty of new music people haven't heard live yet, so that'll be exciting.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Where is the best way to keep dibs on everything Cassadee?
My site, CassadeePope.com, and I am Cassadee Pope official on TikTok, and I'm Cassadee Pope on all the other social media platforms. So, and I think all of them are verified. So that's the easiest way to find me.
We'll know it's the real Cassadee Pope.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much for speaking with me. I always appreciate it. And when the album comes out, come back on and we'll do it all again and get hyped for the new record.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for coming, Cassadee. She's such a delight. Every time I talk to her, I just love her. She's so cool. Love her voice. Her voice is incredible. I love how she's becoming her own, fully. And I love that about her. All right. Next up is MP Cunningham and Jer Jackson from Agua Donkeys. Love this show. Let's get right into it with them and talk all about it. Welcome to iHeartRadio's Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I am here with Agua Donkeys, MP Cunningham, and Jeremy Jackson. Thank you guys so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
Our
Good
pleasure,
to be here, man.
Thank you.
Of course. So, first of all, I love it. It's a hilarious series. But let's go back to the beginning a little bit. This started out as a short film. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And give me a little bit behind that. Was it just something that you just had this idea, wanted to create this short film, and it went from there?
Jer and I had a project that we were working on, and it kind of was on hiatus. And so we had been kicking around the idea for a little bit about us being pool boys. And so we decided to go to Utah, shoot it for a week, because we just kind of wanted to see what we could do with this world. But we just figured that we could shoot a short, get in film festivals or get some eyeballs on it and take that around as kind of like a pilot or proof of concept,
Well, we were hanging out in Utah because we were writing this project and we were waiting for notes back, and the notes were just taking forever. And so MP was just like, this is dumb. We're sitting here doing nothing. Let's do something, And so it was really just, we were in Utah because we were working on this other project. And then it was just MP being like, dude, I'm not going to sit around all summer and wait for notes to come back. And so we went and made Agua Donkeys.
That's awesome. And then from there, you got a great response on with the short film. And then Quibi came along. Is that correct? Or did you develop it first and then Quibi picked it up originally?
We got approached by 3 Arts, and then 3 Arts got us on some meetings with different production houses to kind of team up because we were unknowns at the time, and I guess we still are kind of. But we met up with Funny or Die and really got along with them. And then we started to pitch to studios, and Quibi was this new thing that, no one had heard about. And they said, we'll buy a full season of it. And so we're like, we just want to make it, so let's do it. And the cool thing about Quibi was that they let us do whatever we wanted creatively, which, is pretty unheard of for people starting out. So we took a chance at that, and we were for sure excited about it.
And how stoked were you guys to be like, wow, we just got picked up by this, what was set to be this huge streaming service by all these major players?
Well, at the time when we were pitching, I was actually, I can't speak for MP, but I think it was true. Is like, I was kind of bummed because we were pitching like all these big people that we thought, we're going to go and it's just going to be this crazy thing. And then our managers just threw on at the last second. They're like, by the way, there's this new thing called Quibi. And, we'd been pitching all week and I was completely exhausted. I live in Utah and I had rented a house up in Arrowhead for the weekend to just try and go like decompress, and because we had more pitches the following week. And then they added this, and then I was actually pretty bummed about. I was like, "Oh, geez, man! Like,
what's a Quibi?"
Quibi, exactly. And then it ended out being absolutely the most fun pitch that we, it was awesome. But going in, I was pretty bummed about it personally. But I was pumped.
Yeah, and it now it lives on and will forever on Roku, which is really exciting. Were you guys stoked? After Quibi I covered Quibi extensively on Pop Culture Weekly and on air and all. And I thought it was an awesome idea. It really just never caught on. And a lot of the, press that I did for shows that were launching with Quibi were now like, oh God, this sucks. Like, people aren't going to be able to see these. And then Roku came in and kind of saved the day. How did you guys feel when you heard about Quibi, going quickly under and then getting picked up with Roku?
I mean, obviously we were bummed when Quibi exploded into 1,000 pieces, but when we heard Roku got a hold of it, we were so pumped because we just wanted our stuff to be seen, and the Roku channel has like crazy amount of eyeballs. So we were just like, it couldn't have worked out more perfectly,
And how about you, Jer?
I mean, I was super pumped because, we loved it. And, it feels like the small handful of people that saw it seemed to respond to it. And then, working with everybody at Roku and the Roku channel was they were just so rad, So, I mean, you never know what you're going to get in these corporate situations, but they've been so sick. So it's been awesome. So now we got to just see how it goes from here,
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm stoked that, more people will see series like these that, there are so many great series that came from Quibi, and it's unfortunate, what happened. So I'm really hyped to see, a series like Agua Donkeys get a second life and a lot more eyeballs. So that's really, I'm really stoked for you guys, stoked for the series. So tell me a little bit in regards to how much, your characters are your names. How much of your characters are you guys? Or the opposite, whatever I'm trying to say.
Like a percentage, or what are you looking
at? Are you just bros that just are always trying to find that Jackie or whatever? How much of it is you?
I think a lot of where Jer and I write from is, we try to stick around our natural sense of humor that we've created as friends over the years. And so there's a lot of us in our characters, and that's why we just kept our names the same, just because when we go on set and we're acting, we're basically us, but just tweaked just a little bit, and so that's kind of where we've always liked to keep it, because it seems like the most natural for us to kind of get together, talk about funny stuff, make each other laugh, and then go from there.
So if we ever have to change our names on a future project, I don't know what we're gonna do, because MP will be directing and be like, "All right, Peter," and I'll be like, "I don't know who Peter is."
Peter and William or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if people will believe it.
So, how fun was this? I mean, for me anyway, it seems like it would be all, and of course, filming is tough and long days and that sort of thing. But on the other hand, your sets were kind of cool, kind of sunny for the most part, it seems. Sunny days, kind of, working around a pool. Was that different than your normal, work that you've done before?
Yeah, I guess so. But that's the main reason why Jer and I wrote it. The conversation started of dude, if we have to get jobs, what the heck are we going to do? And pool cleaning was the most natural scenario for us. We're dude, we could have our shirts off most likely. We're out in the sun. Because Jared and I, when we get together, we love just to go to the pool and hang out and talk,
Right.
And so for us to be on a set like that, it's a dream come true, because we're just hanging, and most of the crew was our friends. And so it just was I mean, like what you said, obviously there's stress involved because we want to do the best that we can. But at the end of the day, like we just tried to have a great time, you know?
Yeah, it was pretty sick to show up in the morning and have, people put things over your eyes to make the like circles go away and brush out your hair and all these things that I'm definitely not used to. So it was pretty, there were some nice perks besides getting tan,
Yeah, I can imagine. And like I said, of course, and like you said, it's absolutely work, but you could also be doing this in like, Alaska in January or something, you know what I mean? So comparatively, seems like a pretty cool thing. So what can we expect next from the Agua Donkeys? Is there, a possibility to continue the story?
Well, season 2 is written. And so we're just gonna kind of see what happens. But yeah, Agua Donkeys is ready for more.
Sweet.
Jay, what do you think?
I mean, we're ready for more. I hope enough people want more that the Roku channel let us go do our thing. So we'll see. Fingers crossed,
That's awesome. And in the meantime, what's next for you guys besides that?
I mean, Jared does his stuff where he has his films that he's writing and making. I have a different show that I'm getting ready to pitch, but I mean, I don't want to speak for Jared. Jared will get a chance to answer this too, but we're just really focused on this because we're super excited about it. And we've kind of had to sit on it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is our main focus, and this seems to be the next thing that happen the soonest, so we're pumped.
How about you, Jared?
Yeah, I don't know what I can add to that. That was really well said.
I love it.
Stop speaking for you.
It's kind of cool that this gets a second shot, which, when it kind of went away, we were just like, what now? Like, and so this is pretty rad. So yeah, it's kind of fun to go through it again. And definitely it seems like more people get to watch it this time. So that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, I am hyped for you guys. I'm hyped for everybody to check it out right now on the Roku channel. MP Cunningham, Jeremy Jackson, thank you so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for having us, man. And thanks for all the nice words. Appreciate it.
Of course. You guys have a great day.
It was good meeting you.
Bruh, these guys are freaking awesome. They're so funny, and I love this show. You got to watch it. It's on the Roku channel right now for free. And let me know what you think, at KMac Music on Twitter and Instagram, Real Kyle McMahon on Facebook. You can watch that right now on Roku. All right, so that is the show for this week. We have a super action-packed episode next week, which may or may not have to do with the PBS A Capital Fourth concert that I do every year. It's virtual again this year, but it won't be after this year. So I have a lot of exciting guests lined up for you next week. It's going to be a big one. Can't wait till you guys hear it. Please continue hitting me up with your hate mail and your love mail and your hate tweets and your love tweets and your hate tweets and your hate tweets, because you guys love hate tweeting. All right. So love you all. See you next week. We out.
You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
Bruh. Agua Donkeys, bruh. For real, bro.